Hello, Lady in Pink today. I've done my last few videos wearing a sort of dull blue colour. I think that's significant of a depression. Well, not exactly 100%, but I have been feeling very low. I'm not quite sure what to do today because I've been sort of trying to assess the success or not success of the videos I've done. I've done 130 over 3 years, which is quite a lot. And looking back over the years, I had a lot more comments years ago, and I don't know, I was telling different stories then about my peculiar experiences. I'm still doing that, but no one's commenting. So it's a bit of a trying to understand what is happening. I mean, I've asked people's advice, but nobody can really tell me. I think I'm probably in the wrong place for what I do. I don't know. I think I should do a survey of some sort. Get you all to make comments. What do you think? So I'm doing a different one today. I've noticed that my spiritual teachings, experiences, whatever, are not as popular. Now, I don't know why that is. Whether it's because people can't identify with them, maybe they're too profound, maybe they're not interested in personal stories, I don't know. But that doesn't seem to be as successful as my silly videos. And I have done some very silly ones. I'm good at being silly, so maybe that's my task. I don't think we have to necessarily talk about spiritual experiences, that perhaps the ordinary experiences are those that bring through the spiritual energy. I don't know. Look at the light here on the side. This is the window side. There's such a bright light. And I think we've perhaps all been increasing our light of late. I don't know. I might start with a little story. Shall I start with a little story? I don't know. I've got two stories and they're totally different. One is about my Easter experience, which is pretty devastating. And one is about my mobile phone. Maybe I'll do the mobile phone one first, and if people are interested in that, they can pursue to the spiritual bit. Two-part story. The initial one was the mobile phone. I remember I did a video some time ago about technology, didn't I? About how difficult I was having, so difficult time with a new mobile phone. What the trauma I went through with it, trying to get it to work. In the end, I had to go to Tesco's and talk to a shop assistant, bless her heart, to put it right. Well, I still haven't managed it. I keep going on to it. I don't understand it. It's so complicated, and it keeps saying you have to log on to Tesco's. Well, I don't have to do that. I've got the Wi-Fi with somebody else, so I've got it here. I've got to get a mobile phone working, because everybody says mobile phone number. You're not existing in the living if you haven't got a mobile phone. Of course, you have to have numbers and all this stuff, and it's good for emergency. Not that I go out anywhere nowadays, but it's just a kind of second precaution, isn't it? Take it to bed with you when you're feeling ill, sort of thing. So it's still here. I keep trying it out, and I'm not quite sure that it came to me for meditation. Don't get on with meditation too, or I have to lie down in bed to do it. I can't do them sitting up. I don't know why. Anyway, I had a quiet moment, and this thought has come to me. Now, whether it's come from meditation or I don't know, but look at your old phone. Well, I fortunately hadn't thrown it away. It was in a drawer somewhere, together with all the rest of them. The chap at Tesco told me, oh, it's come to the end of its life, you need a new one, because I was told that the settings have been lost. Nobody knows what that really means. I had a friend, my IT friend, check it out, and he didn't know what it was. So that's why I bought a new one, which I can't understand. So I'm getting a bit frantic, thinking I do need another source of safety, really. So I did find it in the kitchen drawer. I thought, I wonder if it still works. And it did. I switched on, of course I'm familiar with it. It was so easy to switch on and find what I wanted. I thought, why am I finding new stuff here? I cannot do this and do that. It was like a new experience. I couldn't believe it. And I've had this phone, I've had it since 2016, so it's quite old, isn't it? But I don't use them a lot, you see. It's not my everyday thing. I just take them out when I go, in case the car breaks down, stuff like that. So it's really like an emergency thing. Of course, I'm not very good with all the magical stuff. I don't do internet, stuff like that, and banking and all the stuff you can do. It's just basic, make a phone call or get a phone call business, So anyway, it did work. As I'm topping it up, I thought, I didn't know you could do this. I didn't know you could do that. And I thought, well, it's been in that drawer for about 6 months. So why has it suddenly come to life? Has Spirit been mending it on the quiet, or did it just need a rest? Or did I just get on a bad day that the woman at the end of the phone said, "You've lost your settings"? You see, I'm not, well, I don't know how many of us really check things out to that extent. I believe what I hear or whatever. I think I'm not technical enough to know what to look for even. So I believe what they say. The settings had lost, phone's kaput, you know. Well, it wasn't. So maybe it was just, they were just having a bad day with the settings. I've got it all back now, top up and everything. So I've got to tell you this because that video, I think it was a few weeks ago, of my drama, having to go to Tesco's and get somebody there to start it up for me and all that, and I still can't use it. And there we are, I found the old one that works perfectly the first time I switch it on. I don't quite know what the moral is. I really don't. I bet you when I put on the new one it'll work now because I've got the old one working and I don't need it anymore. Oh, I do find these times are becoming very strange. Things aren't working or they're working, and I've just read on Nemesis maturity that where the whole Earth is going through debris of a very ancient supernova. Now, I don't know about you, but I feel these things. It's the same with the solar flares and the CMEs. I always feel them. I've been having a hell of a time lately because there's been so much stuff being released. I expect you find the same. I mean, everyone's different, of course. Me, it's the pain. The pain is unbearable. It's in my legs and my thighs, and I lose my mind sometimes. I mean, honestly, this is true. I get quite worried. I get almost, the pain is so bad, and with the energies, it comes, there's sort of an emotional thing that comes with it, and I think it's fear and it's past life stuff, and I kept screaming. I just get hysterical because I don't know what to do with it. You know, you sort of say breathe through it. No, when I have that much pain and that much anguish, I can't. And this Easter time has been particularly difficult because I think, well, the energies are very powerful at Easter. I always get very sad on Good Friday because I think I do know I was living in those times and I lost the person I loved very much. So all these things for me are kind of very special. So I went through this time of, well, I can only describe it. First of all, I felt this energy around me. It was out here. I knew that I was safe in my light, but it was something that I think we were all going through. On Good Friday, Saturday, it was a huge wave of very negative energy, and I felt I was safe, but I was aware of it. And I first of all thought something was going to happen to the world, like an earthquake or whatever, or even to me. And I got a bit frightened, I must admit. So I stayed my ground, and then I felt I'd come through that. And then I think it was the following day, Good Friday or Saturday, I can't remember, I began to have this, well, I can't, it is grief. You can't put it into words because grief for everyone is different. I started to cry about a past life, this particular Christian Jerusalem past life, began to cry about it, loss or something, and it just escalated. I can't describe what I was going through. I cannot describe. It was more than grief. It was overwhelming of so many lifetimes, I guess, and so many losses in this one. You know, we all lose things, people, but I think it was a collective energy that suddenly just all came up. I thought I was going to die. I couldn't cope with it. I just couldn't cope with it. It was overwhelming. This feeling of sadness, the heaviness. And I called on help, and a very beautiful light being came, and I just said, hold me for a while, I can't cope, and I passed out. And I just know that I was lifted up and I was carried. I was carried through this tremendous darkness that I was going through, which was really sweet, you know, because I needed it. I couldn't cope on my own. So I'm telling you this story. This has just come out. I wasn't quite sure whether to share it or not, but I think it's important to share it because I think, you know, we're all going through these times. And if you can say that we are saved no matter how, you know. There's a poem, isn't there, about the footprints, about the Lord. The man is walking on the beach with the Lord, and they both have footprints, and the footprints disappear, and the chap gets worried, and then God said to him, I'm carrying you. Well, I was definitely carried through this period of darkness. And I've read somewhere, and I do know this is true, the Pleiades particularly talk about the emotional body is the barrier towards the higher consciousness and the connections that we all need. And I know I've never really admitted to my emotions. I'm a very emotional person, but childhood and so forth, I was never allowed to have feelings, so they're all kind of coming out now. And I can't describe the feeling I felt that I'm feeling today, particularly, that now that particular energy is gone, I'm able to connect more freely. That little message about the phone, for instance. I'm just going to check the time. I'm getting carried away here. I don't know what you make of this one. I've had very few people respond to my last one, and I analyse it and I look at it again and I think, what is missing, or what is, I don't know. I think it's just I'm not on the right channel, probably. I don't know. I really don't know. Anyway, so to get back to this energy, that's on the last video. I don't know if anybody's seen it, but at the very last bit it's talking about energy, how I managed to fix a solid iron latch on my gate that took so much energy. And I think that's, again, it triggered off something, you know. I brought something out of me, the anger I felt at this thing, because depression is really anger turned inward. And I've been very depressed for the last couple of months, really. Anyway, so here we are. Glowing in pink, having mended the gate and got a phone working. I honestly don't know what happened, whether the spirit have repaired it or whether it was just a bad the phone people were having. You see, the thing is, there's all these incoming energies, CMEs and so on, they triggers everything off, everything electrical, in computers and phones and God knows what, but in ourselves as well. We are electrical beings. So all this incoming stuff that makes you feel like going wild, I mean, I shake a lot and my body goes into overload. I can't describe it. I put my feet in water, which helps towards it sometimes. I actually felt it. This is another thing. I actually felt it the other day. I put my feet in water at 2 o'clock in the morning because I couldn't stay in bed. I was riding about like a snake. So I thought, I've got to put my feet in water. And I actually felt the energy go down my body into the water, because of course electricity and water don't mix, as you know. Calm down, someone's calm down. So there we are, darlings. I think that's the video for today. Just let me know what you think, if it's any good or if it's not any good. It's not approval per se. I don't want to waste my energy, do I? Okay. God bless for now.